Alright, guys. Well, guess what? It's time for the playoffs of PiGFest. Hero in the bottom left side of the map. HEROMARINE in the top right. It's a barracks gas opening for HEROMARINE, who's going to be doing the 11 depot, 13 barracks into the gas. Now, this build order, if you're doing a Reaper expand, which HEROMARINE is, it's actually ever so slightly more efficient to go 12 depot, 14 racks in terms of long-term economy. It's only worth going for the 11 depot and the 13 barracks if you're also going to cut SCVs to build the 13 gas. Gets an earlier Reaper and has a higher chance of doing a bit of damage to the opponent. But that's why it's a small thing we went over, actually. It was really funny because people were telling me I was doing it wrong going 12 depot, 14 gas, or 14 racks. And I was like, surely there's almost no difference. And it was actually a HEROMARINE video where he broke it down, where I think he missed the long-term value of having idle, or the value lost of having idle time on the command center. Almost everyone's doing the same build HEROMARINE's doing, but here we go. Oh, he's going to cancel the command center. Whoa! Loses 75 minerals just from a zealot. Oh my! But he sees the Nexus. Is he that scared of a zealot, guys? He sees the Nexus. Cancels the command center, builds a bunker. Did he think there's a second gateway out? Or is this an overreaction? This looks like a big overreaction, cancelling the CC to build a bunker there. And there's been a lot of proxies recently, but he did see that Nexus with his SCV scout. And I think HEROMARINE comes out much worse for wear off these openings. Chat says, I think this is the hero effect. He's such a crazy guy, does such weird build orders. Sometimes players overreact to things. To be fair, the Nexus is pretty late, right? This is a 2-minute 20 Nexus. I think, did he go double gas before Nexus, guys? Oh man, so sorry for the slow start. We were fixing some production issues, which is why we were slow into the game here. And now that that's all fixed, that's well and good. But I may have missed a little trick in Hero's opening that kind of threw HEROMARINE off there. Zealot comes in as well. Miro in chat talking about the Reaper says, speaking honestly, I've had a few games won or lost on these couple seconds of Reaper delay. While it's not important for most games, it does make a huge difference for specific cheeses. Yeah, but that's actually the point of my analysis. Just in case you think you're disagreeing, I'm not sure if you think you're disagreeing or agreeing with me, but regarding the opening, if you're not planning to rush the Reaper, it doesn't. It's long-term efficiency matters more. But if you are going 11 depot, 13 racks, you should get the 13 gas as well, in my opinion. Otherwise, you're better off doing the 12 depot, 14 racks. It's a very minor thing, but minor things add up in a game like StarCraft. That Widow Mine will inch its way forward. That command center goes down, but this is going to put HEROMARINE in the naughty corner. Zero threat, zero fear. And I think Hero, when he can scout this early, I mean, he can take a fourth base. He can play Double Forge and Colossus all at once. And I can already foresee HEROMARINE really struggling to take a third base. Very nice start here for Hero. Scaring HEROMARINE a fair bit. And I think HEROMARINE probably believes in the power of the turtle. It's going to be Psystorm as well. Wow. We never see Psystorm anymore. Do you guys think Hero doesn't go Storm and just goes Arc on Zealot? I can't imagine so. It's got to be Psystorm, right? Psystorm did get nerfed by 10 damage this patch, which means I think it went down from 110 damage to 100 total damage. You guys can let me know in the chat if I'm correct on that. Yep, down to 100. Much lower DPS than the original version of Storm that was in the game for a good 15 years. But it does have that big radius. It zones out an area for a long time. It's very painful to move your army all the way through it. It's absolutely a get out of the way. It's a big get out of the way marker that forces the Terran to respect it. Raven's going to move around the north side of this map. Obviously, HEROMARINE comes in as a big underdog, which is why I kind of wish he did just keep that command center on the natural. Pulled a couple SCVs if he needed to. Reaper, Marine could have defended it, absolutely. But cancelling that command center has cost him in this opening. And now we've seen Hero just race to 60 workers. Also, having High Templar means that Raven can't just hide in the dead space. Really easy to feedback it and snap it out of the sky once it gets damaged. Still no fourth base for Hero, and he is going to 6 gates pretty early against a 3 command center build. I would say he's being incredibly respectful to Hero. To HEROMARINE, I should say. Big Gabe, as we'll call him, just to keep it easy on the pronunciations. Big Gabe is HEROMARINE, guys. Hero, of course. What would be the casual kind of name you'd call him? Just Junho, right? Jun? I think he's just going to hit the craziest Zealot Storm timing ever when HEROMARINE moves out to take that third. If HEROMARINE can keep his tanks on the high ground and not get all of his SCVs caught and just lift his command center and fly away, he might be okay. This is like a 60 probe commit. Like the Forge has only now gone down. Hero is going to have an avalanche of Zealot Storm coming across this map. And he's very good at utilizing these gateways. Non-stop production. He's actually building more gateways, which tells me he's probably thinking about going Warp Gate because there's no way he can support even 6 gate production, let alone 8 gates. You can see the gates are already idling a lot. But I don't see a forward pylon on the front. Oh, there we go. No, he's got pylons right there. So he can warp in Zealots just south of this. Stalker coming forwards. High Templar can zone the ramp. First Storm slightly delayed. Nice feedback on the Raven though. Stalkers will take care of the siege tank. Does take care of it. Needs a few more Zealots on the front. He hasn't made warp gates just yet. This attack from Hero, it's a very Hero style attack, isn't it? He's made 9 gateways as if he's doing a full warp gate all in, but now he's just rallying units across the map. The gateways are idle probably about 50% of the time, I would say. But non-stop Zealots and High Templar coming in now. More Archons pushing forwards. HEROMARINE does not have the numbers, and this was a very easy game 1 for Hero. Let's go back and quickly try and correct my terrible observing at the start of the game. What was it about this opening that scared HEROMARINE so much? Was it a double gas before expand? The Nexus was pretty late. Was it the... Oh, was it... He didn't see this pylon. I think he didn't see this pylon and thought he was being proxied, guys. I think that's what triggered this for HEROMARINE. Such a small thing, but he sees no Nexus. Oh my, he sees no Nexus, and he sees no second gas. And he's like, well, there's clearly another gateway proxied out here somewhere. Oh, it's a logical response from HEROMARINE. I think this is a logical response. Because why would your Nexus be that late? And then, unfortunately, he cancels it. He actually already had vision of the Nexus. He just didn't notice that he'd just run past the Nexus. So he pulls an SCV, builds a bunker, runs back to the main, cancels the command center. And if he was watching his minimap, he would have noticed, actually, there's a pretty fast Nexus here. And this is just a modified macro build with a Zealot Stalker pressure. Pretty light pressure, but Hero being Hero gets a massive reaction. He also didn't probe scout, so this is just like almost a modified probe scout, this Zealot. And yet he finds big damage, gets a big response, throws HEROMARINE off his game. All right, guys. Hero in the bottom right side of the map. Early chrono on the probes. HEROMARINE in the top left. Gets thrown off there. Thinks no second gas, no Nexus. It's got to be a big commitment. But no, Hero was just happy to go 2 pylons, Zealot, Cybercore, Stalker, all before the Nexus went down. Actually, I don't know if the Stalker started. I think the Stalker was after the Nexus went down, but still, felt like a pretty late Nexus, didn't it? And yeah, Hero gets a massive response there. Gabe, I think, should be pretty calm. He's been pretty zen recently. That's a 13 gate. Who goes 13 gate? Oh, that's interesting, guys. Most players play 14 gate. Actually delayed pro prediction just by a tiny bit. Now, that if he wants to go Cybercore first, once again, you know, early Zealot across the map, or even if you want to use an Adept, right? Adept takes 33 seconds to build now. You kind of want to build it as early as possible so it can actually defend the Reaper. It's clever. Okay. It's not like it's a huge delay. And he's going double gas, so he... Okay. All right, what are we doing, bud? Ah, double gas. Pylon hidden behind. Interesting. Very, very tricky opening here for Hero, who's... I think he's not afraid of aggression of HEROMARINE as well, and that's something you've kind of got to put Hero on notice in these series and make him worry about that. Orbital does go down. As much as I was talking about this opening before, keep in mind, even though it's a bit awkward with the barracks idling and the Reaper being a bit delayed, the advantage of this opening is your Orbital comes out a bit earlier, even though you still do idle your command center for about 4.5 seconds usually. Getting your Mule 4.5, 5 seconds faster, that's it's basically 25 minerals ahead in the early game. Now, obviously, long term, having an extra SCV, almost 50% built, gives you a bit more mining over the long term. But in the immediacy, it does make your early build a bit tighter. You can get your factory slightly faster, command center potentially. Well, not your command center, because your Mule only starts paying off about now. But your factory, your bunker, it smooths out your opening a bit. So There are advantages to it, even though you do end up slightly behind in minerals long term. So it's not like I'm saying this is a disastrous opening. It's just slightly less long-term economic efficiency. HEROMARINE going to be doing the Alipa Micro with the Zealot. He will be kiting backwards. SCV's on the tower. Zealot's going to dance with that. We're going to see Nexus behind it. Twilight Council's already on the way. Is this a Dark Shrine or a very fast blink? Probably a Dark Shrine. Reaper does get away. Bunkers up. Command Center will be finished. Factory's coming in as well. Second gas behind it. The SCV's going back to mine. Reaper pulling away here. Goes back behind the wall off, so the Adept can't just stand there. And of course, that SCV will pop out there next to the bunker. Orbital should be going up momentarily. It's not started just yet. There we go. It does go down. Now, there is, of course, an attempt to go for the Cyclone. Problem is the Factory. Oh, dangerous. The Factory wasn't quite in position when he lifted the barracks, but he does get it down. Unfortunately for him, there is a Dark Shrine on the way. And he's not scouting right now. He's so focused defensively. But look at this. He's like, well, I'm playing hero. I don't really know what's going on. I saw double gas. I better check, you know, try and figure out what's happening because this guy's probably proxying. And he is coming to proxy a pylon to build the DTs at. And, oh, they're going to cross paths. This is big. This is really big for HEROMARINE. Exactly what he needed right now. A little bit of luck coming his way. Well, you say luck, but is it really luck, Pig? He's gone scouting for what was probably more like some proxy from earlier in the game, but he still does massively slow down these DTs by doing that because, think about it, there's no way for a pylon to get up near his base now. Unfortunately for HEROMARINE, he is playing second barracks. That's a problem. He goes to the right. Oh, he sees the Dark Shrine as well. Excellent scouting for HEROMARINE. Finds exactly what Hero's up to. He sees a warp gate as well. Engineering bay does go down, and he's got a scan saved. So, will we see any DTs coming out across this map? For now, nope. But he's going to start Blink. Hero. Man, look at his face. He's kind of in shadow a bit more today than the other days, isn't he? The rest of his room's lit up. It's like he's wearing his dark Templar cloak today. He's in shadow. His lighting's all different. I didn't realize he was foreshadowing the strategies that he'd be using today. What a legend. He's going for the double blink build, indeed. Well named Twitch chat. Shadow Stride and regular old Stalker Blink. Fun style for Hero, who's of course down on workers right now. Incredibly committed to this aggression. But with the turret now up, Stim on the way, +1. And of course the third barracks building. Feels like HEROMARINE can just casually make his way into Starport Reactor. Keep building economy the whole time. Take a third and fourth gas. He's in a great spot. Hero, of course, is going to take the gold base. And then he is going to probably... I don't know if I can imagine Hero ever going past 50 probes this game. I feel like he just recalls a ton of probes off his main or natural to saturate the gold. And he's just kind of like on 8-gate Zealot DT for the rest of this game. I don't see him building many more Stalkers even either. Even though he's made Blink, this is going to be a very mineral-focused style. Like, he's got 3 gases. It's mostly going to be spent on Dark Templar. Chat says he cancelled the Stalker Blink. Ooh, great catch. Great catch. Yeah. He's actually getting a Forge, which I find surprising. I think with this style, normally you want to go armor with Zealots, but because if your opponent gets +1 armor, you don't have +1 attack, DTs will not one-shot Marines or SCVs. Something you got to worry about. Prism flies in. It is a hallucination, but here come the DTs, man. He uses DT Blink, and actually he's going to find some damage. He's got a recall right now if he wants to save him, though. He's got a recall right now if he wants to save... Oh, the mass repair! The mass repair is good! Wow! Does he have a scan? He's got a scan. He's got a... It's well worth using a scan here. Is he going to catch them? 1, 2 DTs go down. Third DT does escape to the corner, but that's actually a perfectly fine hold for HEROMARINE so far. And Marine Tank Bunker will take care of that DT as well. He blinks in. The mad lad. Dude, Hero really needs lessons about the pull-out game, doesn't he? He's all about go deeper, you know? Man sees danger, he runs towards it. He's Simba in the elephant graveyard. See how that works out. I think Hero's roar, thankfully, is a lot more fearsome than Simba's. You know, Simba's a little bit kind of belies the fact that he's a baby, but Hero, when he roars, it actually does make the ground shake. Ooh, look at that. Double drop goes forward. Remember, there's no anti-air. Not much you can do to deal with these drops. This is a very low-risk move for HEROMARINE. He might not know that. He might think this is a risky move, but he actually finds massive damage on the gold base. There are only 2 Stalkers that shoot up. He's trying to make Blink now, but this is so far a very good defense for Hero. And Marine biggest Gabus, as we should be calling him, to not get things confused. The biggest of Gabes. He's going to catch another Dark Templar. Always worth scanning for a DT. Remember, they're 250 resources, a Dark Templar, and every scan is 225 minerals that you would have mined in the future that you're giving away now, which is obviously a good price. If you get, you know, that value immediately, pretty damn nice. Will he build a Raven at some point, guys? Maybe. Definitely not going to be dropping any mules for a long time. For now, he doesn't have many scans available. Army comes forward. Zealots are going to try to engage, but the Terran army is way bigger than the Protoss army. He does drop a scan. Those DTs are behind him. He gets one of them. Doesn't quite get the second. No, he does. He gets both. Both Dark Templar go down. Hero has to tap out. Hero comes into this match with a drunk man brawler style. Hero Marine gets so afraid. He kind of just overreacts in game 1. But in game 2, Hero Marine shows that he's made of sterner stuff. All right, guys. Game 3, and I am very happy to see the score, 1-1. We have here Cardio Gabe, the scariest form of him. He no longer rages. His life used to be get video games, and trying to win StarCraft tournaments. These days, Hero Marine, he's a streamer. He's chilling. He's vibing. Still does a bit of cardio, goes for 1 big run a week. He was saying in his interview on the group stage, still lifts 3 times a week. Feeling good, hangs out, has his beers, has a good time, and I was asking him kind of, you know, what's the reward, what's the payoff after a hard day's work? What motivates you when you're going for a long 10 kilometer, 20 kilometer run on the weekend? And he said, oh, probably the pizza I make when I get home, you know. As you got, for those who've watched Home Story Cup, Big Gabe's been making fresh pizzas there for people for years now. He is half Italian. So we've actually got 1.5 Italians in today's games. Of course, Rainer and Cyril also playing today as well. We did have a storm up in Florence, Tuscany. So Rainer and Cyril were meant to play first, but we're actually playing this map before that match. So no spoilers because I can't spoil you. We might publish them in the other order the way that we normally do on the YouTube, but we'll see how we go. Oh, double gas opening. Cool. Double gas opening. Quick orbital into Reaper here. So there's 1.5 Italians, half a German, 1 Korean, and 1 Texan. That is correct. Cyril from Texas. Hero from Korea. Of course. Rainer fully Italian. Gabe is the half German and the half Italian indeed. I believe in Nation Wars, wasn't it, years ago, where Hero Marine actually represented Italy? Germany is usually pretty stacked in terms of competitors in RTS titles. But you put Hero Marine and Rainer together, and it's a pretty fearsome Italian side as well. Ooh, where is that command center? We're delaying it to get the Cyclone out super fast this game. Interesting. I think with the fast Cyclone build, gas first is actually a fair bit better. I just feel like if you I think double gas builds are in general overrated. And this is like kind of a theory that's pretty untested, but I really feel like single gas builds with the low worker start and just how much minerals matter in the early game. I think that's something that's not really well mapped out on this patch by anyone just yet, as Hero goes robo first. Now guys, back in the day, this used to mean he was going to build a few observers, get some map hacks up. Obviously just joking, they're not called map hacks, but that's what, you know, when you got like 3 or 4 observers and Terran can't really surprise you with anything. And then he'd go 2-base kind of Storm Zealot. But I don't know, I feel like modern Hero on this, but I feel like he might just make an Immortal and run across the map with like an Immortal and 2 gate of gateway units and try to like bust the bunker. And you might think, well, he's not going to do that. He's got a shield battery. But I don't know, man. I think he very well may. Immortal, of course, will shut down the Cyclone pretty hard. Chat, running or lifting weights. If you could only choose one, which one would you do for the rest of your life, says Nonimba. Oh, that's tough. Because if I can't... I mean, I do running. Because I could still do calisthenics. And that's all you need. But if you ban all calisthenics, exercises, anything, then I'd probably have to go with the weights. You know? It's probably... Especially the older you get, that's probably better for you long term than running. Running's still good for you, but... Got to keep that bone and muscle mass up as you age, or it starts going down pretty drastically. Skeleton starts to fall apart. Your spine starts to compress. You know your spine is never going to compress because it's fueled by pure get in your opponent's face and cause a ruckus energy. It's Hero. So it wasn't an immortal, it was just a warp prism. He's just harassing. How cool is that? Okay. It's literally just a light harassment into a third base with no splash, no Twilight. He's so crazy, man. Hero's like, I usually pick off 2 SCVs and run away, man. That's my move. He's kind of standing and fighting, doing some hot pickups. If that Cyclone locks onto the Prism, obviously it's dangerous, but 5 SCVs, great first wave. And he goes third Nexus into a Robo Bay. Widowmine drop comes into the main. He actually had a second shield battery building in the main, but he cancelled it because he was moving across with so much of his army. He thought if a Marine drop came in, he couldn't handle it, which is why he was building the shield battery. But he had the wherewithal to say, hey, if you're not going for that Marine drop, I won't need it, which is really smart. Does end up losing 2 probes to that Widowmine, 3 probes in total, but overall, good handling there by Hero. And it's Gabe who's going to be losing a few more units there. Water turret does go down to try and push this away, but once again, Hero gets 3 Marines there. Cyclone chasing, though. Cyclone chasing. Gabe's hunting for him. He's hunting for him. Oh, he barely pivots. Oh, he sees it now, but it's away. That is a nice evacuation there by Hero. Hero sees the medevac, and he thinks about going back in for more. And Gabe's just like, get out of here, bro. Finally manually locking onto the Prism this time. That Prism is toast. There's no way. As long as the Raven keeps vision here, gets rid of it. He can get rid of one of the weak Stalkers as well if he moves the Cyclone forward a bit, but he's got to be careful. You don't want to lose the Cyclone or the Raven. He's going to keep moving forwards here. Remember, there's no Twilight. Without the Colossus out, there's nothing to defend except slow Zealots and Stalkers and 1 shield battery. He's made Warp Gates to make 2 more units. He then transforms back to Gateways, one of Hero's favorite things to do. It's very expensive. 50 minerals, 50 gas to get that Warp in faster, but I do feel like Hero is so clutch at pivoting to that. SCV's coming. Is this a bunker building crew? Or is this a straight up fighting, repairing crew? Ooh. Hey, Hero now might be letting his guard down, but he's about to find out this is a real push. It's not a fake out. I mean, the Observer actually probably confirmed that as he didn't see him returning home. Army is here. He's going to go for it. The Colossus at the perfect time. The Marines are going to get toasted. The siege tanks have to shoot that. The slow Zealots are legitimately going to kill this whole army. I can't believe it. Oh, can he save the tank? No, Hero Marine. No, he loses both tanks. His SCV is too slow to repair. Not the best push there for Hero Marine. A decent, cute idea, but the Observers kind of got wind what was happening. And I love that little swap there for Hero. I just want to show you guys the Warp Gate swap, because I think it's really clever. He does this a lot. Where he swaps to Warp Gates here when he sees the army coming. And look at this. He's going to warp in some units. 2 Zealots. Immediately transforms back. They've buffed the transforming speed. Transforming into or out of Warp Gates only takes 4 seconds now. And then he gets back to building these Zealots, which build in just 14 seconds as well. I mean, it's so powerful what you can do off just 2 gateways when you harness just the power of the new gateway in general, but especially if you're Hero, the one guy who's like constantly swapping back and forth between modes, which is really cool. All right, guys. Hero in the bottom right side of the map. Hero Marine in the top left side as well. And Hero is immediately going for a proxy. Oh my lord. Sends one of his first probes across on the 4-player map. He knows it was 3-player spawn. It's never vertical spawn. So he knows Hero's either top left or bottom left. And he's like, all right, we're going to go. And do you guys think, is this 2-gate proxy or 1-gate? You know what's crazy about this proxy location is if he's down here, he has to kind of branch around this. Still pretty close. But it's just if he's here, which is where he is, it's so close. He might have been hoping for a command center first, but Gabe does not play like that. Now, Gabe's going 13-13. Oh, he's going to do a fast Reaper here. I think he's hoping to catch Hero being incredibly greedy, doing like a Nexus first or something like that. Or at least like, 20 Nexus, 20 Cybercore. Because Hero loves doing that sort of greedy, gambles on 4-player maps. So it turns out this gamble is an aggressive gamble. SCVs need to get pulled immediately. Normally you need to pull 2, or you will lose a bunch of build time on your barracks, which is the last thing you want. He does have to swap off, which already loses him about 1 second of build time, which of course is 1 second delay on the Reaper. Also, a lot of Terrans will be a little slower to put on gas, which does mean the Reaper ends up slightly delayed here as well. And I think he was slightly slow because he doesn't quite have the gas. Reaper's still going to be pretty well timed, 145 start, but a bit of harassment there for Hero. And Gabe has not sent an SCV out, which is interesting, guys. He's just rallied to the Watchtower. Ooh. And he's looking like he wants to 1x expand. These 2 Zealots into a Stalker are going to be nasty, man. Oh, Command Center on the high ground. Good move for Hero Marine. Big Gabe. That's what he needs, man. Oh, this is a scary match, isn't it? For HEROMARINE. You're playing against the guy that's impossible to pin down, impossible to predict. You can see there is a preponderance towards extreme aggression. There we go. Fix that scoreboard. Sorry, guys. Had the wrong number there. Just a misclick. Reaper goes forward. He sees the probe. Probe's luring him away. Probe lures the Reaper away. Reaper's going to go clean him up. We'll go across map, but these two Zealots are going to come in, and there is nothing at home, guys. Oh, and the depot's down. No! HEROMARINE! HEROMARINE! His depot's down! He's not going to react in time! He does. Okay, he does react in time. He raises the depot, but he's got 0 damage output. What can he possibly do? He can repair the depot and micro SCVs back and forth. He has to start Marauders right now and try to build a bunker, but he's going to lose so many workers. Now, the Reaper could get some damage. He does manage to take out 1 probe on the map. None of these probes, though. Good micro for Hero, scaring him away while forcing, of course, the SCVs to go down to that Stalker at home. The Stalker going after the SCV, putting a bunker. HEROMARINE would need such crazy micro to be hot swapping these damaged SCVs away because he's got so much stuff to handle right now. Another SCV goes down. It bites the dust. Marauder starts to land some hits on the Stalker. Oh, okay. This is a bit wild that Hero's not turning to fight the Marauder. But I guess he just says, whatever, the SCVs, the eco damage, that's the important part. He's going to recall a Stalker home. That Reaper does turn to run away for Gabe. He throws a grenade, tries to take out the Stalker, which might be biting off a little bit more than a single Reaper can chew. Does hold on. 7 SCVs go down. He's got a command center. There's no Nexus. It's recoverable. The Nexus does begin. And it's going to be a dicey next few minutes here for Gabe, where he needs to build SCVs. Make a second orbital, drop those mules. I think it's recoverable on paper, right? Because he keeps the Reaper alive, which gives him vision. Makes it hard for Hero to just only focus on containing him. He'll have a Cyclone to stop the follow. I think often in these games, what ends up killing the Terran is a very random looking follow-up attack of like 4 Stalkers, 3 Zealots, and a Sentry walk up and just like run up the ramp and kill him, you know? Hero's the kind of guy who like takes a Widow Mine to the face, doesn't care, and he just says, you don't have enough units. Oh, he was not expecting a Sentry this early. Who would have? I don't even dare call that a mistake for Gabe. You're just not expecting a Sentry that early in the game, are you? Oh, that is very, very painful though. Every unit really matters at this stage. But he's doing a good job with his SCV production. He's rebuilding in that regards. Hero though, he's got his natural almost up. We go for a second gateway, or third gateway, I should say. Actually, no, second gateway. It was only 1 gate on the front, wasn't it? Let's go like that. Chat says he'll catch up in no time. I don't know, man. Double Mule is good. When you give a Protoss this much map control, you really need to get down to that expansion sooner rather than later. And with so few core units, right? He's got a Marauder, 3 Marines, and a Reaper. Oh, the Widow Mine. Oh, good on Burrow micro. Lovely micro there for Gabe. That was very well done. Yeah, that was really well done. Once he gets a second tank down there, he'll be able to secure this base. Sell the bunker is fine as well. But good micro for Hero. Already gets himself a Reaper, just for good measure. And just delaying these extra few seconds, making it frustrating. He's also got charge almost done. 3 more gateways coming, so it looks like a charge lot follow-up attack. Very good idea. As good as Double Mule is, the delay on this command center is why we were so worried about HEROMARINE's position. It's finally up, but Stim has not started. Charge is almost done. And the charge lot timing, if you don't have a wall off up, he's going to get on top of the tanks, do friendly fire from the siege tanks, the Widow Mine, the Marines, so quickly. And you can see Hero's so aware of the threat of things. Like the Widow Mine, you know, is so damaged. And the Zealots are building. I would not mind a warp gate shift right now. 2 pylons coming in, so he's overbuilding pylons to prepare for this. Yeah, and he's going warp gates now. So he's got 3 warp gates at home. Lots of Zealots coming out here, man. And I just don't think you have the numbers as HEROMARINE. Beautiful gamble, but the cleverest kind of gamble here. In game 4, I think we see why guys like Clem will just scout sometimes every single game with an SCV against Hero, because you never know what madness he's going to bring out. You want to have the most efficient economic build you can, so you don't really want to spend money on an SCV scout. But if you don't, it catches you off with the strangest build orders, the trickiest tricks. Hero has probably more range than any other player when it comes to StarCraft. His ability to just bounce between extremes of greed, aggression, proxies, incredibly hard to deal with, and Hero really taking charge in this best of 7. He's up 3-1. Going on to Rainfall for Game 5, guys. HEROMARINE just can't get going in this series. I think we're discovering the chaotic energy of having to play against Hero And Big Gabe is struggling in the series to get started. Hero, of course, just throwing out all sorts of curveballs. Mixed in quite a few no-scout openings with some extreme aggression, and it's that bouncing between, hey, I've done the greediest build I can, got away with it, haha, now I'm being very aggressive. It's really hard to kind of stay in the correct position. Remember, winner of this match will play the loser of Serral and Raynor. Loser of this match is eliminated. Yeah, like I said, winner will play the loser of Serral Raynor in the next round. Just later tonight. Chat saying, HEROMARINE should reduce his commentary in tournaments like this. You can't tell me it doesn't affect his performance. I think it makes his performance better. Don't get me wrong. You can argue about his preparation level. You could argue about the builds he brings. But I think for most Terran players, especially ones who have a history of tilting or not quite being able to perform in the bigger stages, just kind of live streaming like HEROMARINE is during his run in this tournament, talking to his audience while he plays, just out loud like he does in all of his practice games, it allows him to chill. And I don't think he's been commentating non-stop. He'll just sometimes, especially in the early game, like, oh, I'm going to do this, or I'm thinking I'll do that, you know. And I think that's good, because there's one thing we've seen with the modern cardio Gabe, as I call him, is that he's more relaxed. And he just kind of plays like it's a, you know, just doesn't panic. I think for Terran players especially, you tend to play with a bit less information than the other factions. Protoss and Zerg have a few more early game natural kind of information gathering mechanisms, natural map control with things like overlords, observers, early stalker, adept, map control, that sort of stuff. Printf says, I find it interesting that Heroes decided it's optimal to open Zealot every game. He absolutely. I mean, he's just, it went so well for him in game one. He's like, dude, I love taking my Nexus a minute late. This is awesome. Like, let's go. It seems really good because the Reaper never even gets to go across the map, right? And if you catch that command center out in the open, it's nice. I think if you're not going to probe scout, you just want to, you know, have some modicum of safety. It's not a bad way to do it. It is weird to not probe scout and go Nexus this late. It's a nice bit of mining time. Sees the double Reaper. No battery on the natural is a bit odd. And he's now going to build it. There we go. I was thinking that's a little late. But that's the power of the Zealot, I guess. And he's got a 4th gateway unit building immediately. So pretty tight opening, all things considered. There. He's also used energy recharge, so he can force field the front if he needs to. He could also full wall. That's interesting. So he's gonna create a mostly wall, Twilight battery and gateway there. Stop any Reaper Hellion encroaching on his territory. I do like, though, that HEROMARINE did not continue building Reaper Hellion. He's going for more Marines and a Cyclone, and this time he is going for that starport. I play with less information. Pig means don't scout and open the same build every matchup. Jeez, chat. Chat's wild tonight. To be fair, I mean, Terran don't have observers, man. They scout with their harassment. So the best scouting Terran openings are just the ones where you attack with early harassment the most, right? A Widowmine drop isn't all about killing probes. It's often about just seeing what the Protoss is up to and making him leave some units at home to defend it, you know? Reaper Hellion, just as much about limiting your opponent's options by the threat of it as it is anything else. Now, he goes Warp Gates already, which the only reason I would go Warp Gates here is to threaten DTs. Like, I want you to see the Warp Gate and make you think, ooh, this could be a DT opening like earlier in the series. But otherwise, spending the money on Warp Gates this early is 50 minerals, 50 gas, and they will produce slower than regular gateways. But Hero is such a vibes-based player. He sometimes just does this where you're like, wait, why are you going Warp Gates with this build? And he's like, felt like it, you know? And you're just like, but you could be building units faster if they're in regular gateway form. But I think for him, he's kind of like, look, I'm not planning to build units non-stop because I'm rushing Colossus. And I just want to warp them in where I need them. I think he's just saying, this is a smoother way for me to defend. That does make sense. Ooh, 2nd and 3rd barracks coming up now. Going onto those tech labs. He's got siege tanks out as well. Bunker goes down, just in case there is some Blink Stalker aggression. which is a fair enough call as the Robobay goes down in the main base. First Colossus will be starting soon. Robobay into third Nexus, very similar to the sort of setup that he ended up with on Blackrock. Difference being this time, of course, he has the Blink, he has the Twilight Council. He doesn't have the 3 observers on the map, but he is building a second one. Gabe's a little overly safe here. Hard not to be when you're playing against Hero, but if he was being very greedy, he could absolutely get away with it because there is no Warp Prism. The Blink Stalkers are entirely defensive, and if HEROMARINE chose to, say, skip the second siege tank, which... Oh, actually, he did cancel the second tank. Never mind. He did, I think, build it for a little bit. But yeah, things like canceling the second tank. Could cancel the bunker. Obviously, that's a little bit of a wild choice, but you could do it. All decent choices if you know the Protoss isn't going to be aggressive. Stalkers do spot the Reaper. And he does get yeeted into the bushes down there. For those who don't know, guys, this is Rainfall. This is the map where there are Moopies down here guarding the Ewok Kingdom. I imagine there's like cave entrances under there into like an underground kingdom, sort of dwarf empire sort of place. I mean, the fact that there's guards on duty tells me it's probably not like the Mines of Moria from the Fellowship of the Ring. Probably not too many many monsters down there. Oh, this is kind of scary. There's no tank in the main. That's a reactor going down. Oh, he loves to do that with the Observer. The Hero Observer sieges it up, takes a few shots, immediately unsieges. I feel like it's a taunt every time I see that. Raven's coming down the left side right now. You can see Pylon does spot it. Plenty of time to react for Hero. And he's making a third warp gate, a fourth gateway here. It's a very expensive setup for Hero, not utilizing the regular gateways. Generally speaking, regular gateway is a bit more efficient, but I think he might have a good enough opening that he's not too unhappy with it. You can see the units lost tab very heavily in his favor as HEROMARINE goes and cowers with that Raven in the corner, but he's forced the Stalkers to recall. HEROMARINE's going to take advantage and shove through the middle. How many Colossus are out? 2? Extended Thermal Lance is almost there. It's 25 seconds away. +1 attack still miles away. We've got +1 and concussive shells coming in. Third command center in the main, 4th and 5th barracks building. Hero's rotating around the right side. I think he expects the 3rd over there. In fact, he's coming on what Hero wants to be his 4th base location. He sees the army. Colossus gets a lock on. Or so Cyclone does, sorry. Colossus takes some big damage. Siege tank gets a shot off as well. Cyclone unfortunately does go down. Otherwise, maybe would have got that Colossus with it. Raven drops an auto turret or 2, distracts the Stalkers, tries to fly away that 3rd base. Does have Zealots nearby, so auto turrets there shouldn't do too much damage. And indeed, they won't. Zealots jump on top. The Raven has not really done anything to Hero this game. Gabe happy to just go home, and it's the right call. He's got to get out of here, man. 3rd Colossus is about to hit, +1 as well. 6 warp gates are already done. I expect a Warp Prism. Actually, he's going to build a 4th Colossus. That's so odd. Oh, Colossus getting some good hits. Gabe's in trouble. He sieges the tank, but his army outmatched right now. I don't think standing and fighting was the right idea. I think he thought Hero made a mistake by coming to his side of the map, but no, Hero's army is so scary right now. Gabe's going to try to jump on top, but he's not got the numbers. Remember, Colossus do a bit more damage versus Marauders these days. 2 times 12 as opposed to 2 times 10 pre-patch. But even without that, I think he wins that fight pretty handily. 3rd command center has to lift off. Gabe has to pull back, and it's looking like Hero, one of the favorites, as always, in this tournament, but especially outside of the PvZ matchup where he's struggling right now. You put him in a PvT, he was always going to be a big favorite in this matchup. Fourth and 5th base going down at the same time. 2nd Forge, Dark Shrine, and the Warp Prism. Hero's already on 74 workers. The fact that Gabe's on 2 bases right now is beyond frightening. Landed his command center back in his main to turn into an orbital. 60 workers only mining off 2 bases. Feels bad. He needs the Vikings. Got 4 building at a time. Once he's at 6 Vikings, maybe he could venture out since there's not much Zealot support for the Colossus. There's always the chance Terran finds an amazing fight. As much as this should really be game over from here, Hero is kind of famous for being the best player in the world from behind and basically being allergic to hedging his bets. He will blink into your Marauders. He will not probe for 5 minutes and make 300 Zealots and send them into your Widow Mines. And then when he falls behind, he'll swap back to the most clutch, best player in the world from behind, and he'll still win the game. That's why Hero's games are so exciting. It's kind of like that inability to just be patient and shut the game out in the slowest and most patient way possible. It creates a lot of variability. You just don't know what's going to happen next. Cyril's all about hedging, you know, he's all about limiting risk. Oh, look at that, guys. Prism is in vision, but the DTs have warped into the main. HEROMARINE chasing the Stalkers away. Those DTs are going to cause a lot of problems. DT on the right and the left of our screen right now. SCVs are running away. He's also got Zealots running to that third base at the same time. Already 12 workers have gone down. Massive mining time. Whole army getting pulled home. It's exactly what Hero wanted here. That Dark Templar, only 4 kills, but the mining time alone is massive. Did the Prism end up falling, guys, or did it get out of there? It looks like it did go down. Disruptors and Blink DT coming in. That's usually the big thing that players are scared of, right? It's oh man, once those Blink Dark Templar come in, I'll take a 4th planetary. DTs will get rid of it the moment I'm not looking. Ooh. Oh, that's 4 Marauders going down. Nice pickoffs. This is not even a commitment. It's 1 Disruptor and the Stalkers that were going to be on the map anyway. Gabe getting frustrated by this, and justifiably so. Hero just being so efficient, so annoying. All of units is here. Mass Zealot counter comes in. Oh, look at that. Depot positioning creates a choke point. Really nicely done. Zealots from the left as well. I think Gabe would be correct to send his whole army home. Otherwise, he's pretty much completely all in. He's going to go for it. Wow, he pulls back, but Disruptors didn't even fire yet. Does at least let the Vikings take out the Colossus before the fight starts, though. And look at that. The Marauders come in. Big wraparound angle, but the stims run out. The units have a lot of Zealot Stalkers and these Disruptor shots to worry about. Disruptor on the front line will go down before its shot does eventuate. Behind this, though, the economy of Gabe has been wrecked. Is he going to be able to win the game with this move? He's got units rallied back to his main base. He's on top of that 4th. HEROMARINE does have a 20 army supply lead as DTs are starting to warp in. They're going to come in from the left side. Remember, does he have blink on those? Yeah, he does. So he can also blink those away from scans. A couple more orders go down to the DTs. Disruptors come in from the right side. Scan goes down there. A few Zealots will fall, but the landed Vikings have all gone down. I love that Archon morph. Picks up, tries to boost some units to this left side, of course. Hero still has 5 bases up. And workers mining all over. That recall on the Stalkers, if they follow that up with a blink, one of these medevacs will say goodnight. Maybe more than one. Oh, he's not got boost ready just yet. It's a nice blink forward. And HEROMARINE is looking in trouble. Hero all over this game. Very solid play. I mean, this is just being Hero taking control of the series. And I think he's one of the most frustrating players to play against because of this. Did anyone name one moment where HEROMARINE got to play StarCraft in that series? And I've always said this is one of the nastiest things you can do to an opponent is just shut them out, catch him with your greed, catch him with your aggression. Don't play standard and let him get to a situation he's played 50 times before. Play like Hero and be constantly impossible to predict or pin down. Beautiful play by Hero. He's up 4-1. GG, well played. All right, guys. Well, I hope you're enjoying the cards here for PiGFest. Holding such a big tournament is a massive undertaking. And if you want to go the extra mile to help support us, please consider checking out our Patreon. There's a link below to the description where you can check it out. There's a bunch of unique perks there that are exclusive to our Patreon. And a big thanks to everyone who's already on there. Big thanks to Feeden, Dragasar, Oko, H, as well as everyone else who are on the Wall of Bacon, past, present, and future. Thanks so much for supporting PiGFest, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye and good night.